Richard. Mentalite de slope. Mentalite de slope. Bitch mentality. You're not trying to learn Spanish. I'm not going to say it in Spanish. But mentalite de slope or mentalite de slope. Right? Or mentalite de slope. It don't really matter. You went on a rant not that long ago, about 40 minutes long. Shout out to Veganism Exposed. And I don't have to go too long. Right behind me over here, you can barely see it. If not, I'm going to have to put the picture on here during the editing process. But most of you know I'm a combat vet. Pictures back there, that's me in the combat zone. Okay. Or few. I got a lot more, but that's them. I love those. Those are my pride and joys. Vegan gains, they're on this tirade about Israel and Gaza and Hamas and what's going on with the Jews and all that shit over there. And I think Richard is a Jew, so he's a little bit biased to a lot of things. I get it. But he said something during a debate about military intelligence. Okay. And the defense was he was being debated by this guy who he claimed is 15, and the guy lived with his parents. And listen, let me first want to say that you can't throw rocks when you're living in a house or a basement of a house where you can see the fiberglass in the walls, like the walls are out right now. I have no idea what's going on in that situation there, but you used to have your own place. You moved like 3 or 4 times. Now, like you actually is living in a basement. If the house being remodeled, whatever. I mean, you're begging for people to pay your rent. You have live stream with it. You have it there, pay my rent. And the dumbasses that really support you is paying your rent. Anyway, you said something that I couldn't believe. The straw man was, because you call this guy a Jew hater and all this shit. He support Gaza and all this shit. God never said that. You kept asking the guy, what should Israel have done different when they invaded Gaza or whatever? Right? To help the Jews and all that shit, right? Every time the guy would answer, you say, nope, they done that. No, they done that. Now, listen, you live in Canada, okay? Thibodeau's a little bit off his rocker up there, but listen. For a guy that sits around all day and play video games and talk about child porn and a plethora of shit, I mean, you compare yourself to Martin Luther King on this latest shit that I just seen. You compare yourself to Martin Luther King? You have no avenue to talk. You never been, as far as my knowledge go, in the military. For you to sit up here and say this statement, I'm gonna let you say it about your own mouth. Because you did that, you are qualified to have more experience than the guy you were debating on about military stuff. You have no idea that guy's family. You have no idea what that guy has done in his life. Now, of course, he never been in the military. He admitted that, and he don't play certain video games that you might play. But that don't mean that his parents wasn't in the service. That don't mean that he has siblings that's not in the service. Friends. Now, I'm a combat vet. And got the evidence to back it up. I'm a combat vet. Things you are taught at basic training, when you get into the shitter, it goes out the window. Okay? Shit ain't all that it seems. Orders changes. Emergency situations happen. Unpredictability will make the combat zone so unsafe. And you always have to be on your P's and Q's and be ready to adapt. Just because you have a SOP, in case you know what that means, that's standard operating procedure to execute a mission, that doesn't mean that plan A isn't subject to change midway through the mission. It all depends on the situation and what's going on around you at that time. Ask me how I know about that shit, and I can tell you how I know about that shit. Things change like that. And if you hesitate, that can cost you your life. Complacency is deadly in the combat zone the first 90 and last 90 days of a tour. Okay? I'm going to let you sit up here and say what you said, because I want you to hear how stupid you sound. Vegan Gains goes on a rant for 40 minutes.
For it. So, like, Hamas.
He has military intelligence. And I'm going to get to the part where he claimed he has it. Okay? I like the grading.
You criticize them. Oh, Israel invaded a fucking civilian area where...
Been mad about that. But I am mad about...
It's going to be right.
Trucks not being adequate, causing starvation.
Oh,
is this your real personality? Like, are you literally retarded all the time?
For a guy that literally lives in his basement, look like, I wouldn't call somebody retarded. I mean, let's go up here. Impressions, $10. Song requests, $15. You're twerking for $50. Draw anything for $5. Pay my rent. Pay my rent. You're begging. You're a drifter. If YouTube wasn't paying you anything, you'd be homeless. You'd be a hobo. Your personality. You have more grades than me, and I'm older than you. I think you're 31, 32. You're obese. Well, not obese. You're out of shape. Strong, but out of shape. Cripple. I mean, I hurt my back deadlifting on Sunday, but that's just a twitch. It'll be all right. And that's because I thought I was warmed up enough, but wasn't warmed up enough. I pulled 355 at 180 pounds. I was going for a triple. And first set went up, second set, but the second rep wasn't having it. The back wasn't having it. Decided to go pop, like you pop your neck, pop, and when it popped, that loosed the muscle lost tension, weight went to the weak spot. I dropped the weight. I wasn't ready, but I'm okay. I trained today, asshole. Like you, I got to take some days. Anyway, you just belittle this dude. I'm gonna leave the video down on the video down below, so you guys can go watch it yourself. Because I just want to get to the part where you say he has military intelligence. I want you to hear for your own self.
Hey, you could just use your tasers. You don't need the gun.
Yeah, fuck cops, bro. Like, they can use the taser.
It's around in here somewhere. Let me back up a little bit.
This documentary the guy did where he was...
Back up just a little bit.
Yourself. They should have done this. They should have done the Call of Duty thing. Again, you don't know trucks not being adequate, causing starvation. That's Hamas propaganda. And all the fucking bullshit you've said about their military operations. Hamas propaganda.
Like, that's not my position. Again, for the... No.
Yeah, you're mad that there aren't more Jews dying.
Like, I would have been okay with that. I would have been like, yeah, I mean, those...
A bit more, guys. Hold on.
Israel invaded a fucking civilian area where the hostages were kept, and they found out where the hostages were by tricking civilians into telling them where they were, and they had a shootout, and innocent civilians could have died.
Okay, yeah, but if they...
Look at his fucking... Whatever, man.
He rescued them, like, I would have been okay with that. I would have been like, yeah, I mean, those few lives lost were, like, for the greater good of those people being rescued. So, yeah, like, I wouldn't have been mad about that. But I am mad about, like, how everything's going down in Gaza right now.
Yeah, you're mad that there aren't more Jews dying compared to fucking Hamas members.
No.
Yeah,
no,
that's exactly what it is.
No. Bro,
if only more Jews could die.
Dude? You're literally...
My daughter was coming to the door. I told her she got to get out because, wait, because bad stuff on the...
Literally smoking crack or something, bro. Like, that's not my position. Again, for the fucking, like, dozenth time. That is not my fucking position. I'm not pro-Hamas. I'm not pro-Israel.
Right, that's why you spread pro-Hamas propaganda.
People.
So anyway, Richard's going through. It's around through here, guys. I'm gonna find it. I want you guys to hear it.
Opportunities to come to a diplomatic resolution, and they have not.
No.
because both sides are
No.
fucking psychopathic.
Only one side is psychopathic. Only one side is psychopathic. Guess what? Israel's never fucking gone into fucking Gaza, murdered 1,000 innocent civilians, raped a bunch of women, killed a bunch of children, and taken fucking hostage. And they don't have a charter saying one day we'll wipe out all fucking Palestinian people. Only Hamas has that.
So,
only Hamas has done that.
Hey, so like again,
that's not necessarily true, but yeah.
Did I ever condone what they did on October 7th? No, I did not.
No, but the Jews are just as evil. Right. You're not.
He's a Jew. That's why he's being so defensive.
Not an anti-Semite.
Oh my God, bro. Oh my God. Like,
we're gonna do a roast live stream about this whole thing. Veganism exposed, motherfucker. You know I'm gonna use this clip. Just let you know. A whole live stream about this shit. This is funny as fuck. It's funny as fuck.
Oversimplification of my position is just
infuriating. It's not an oversimplification. No, it's not. Bro. When you hear it back, you realize how stupid what you're saying is. That's what's happening. Everything you've said.
Literally a child to you. That's so fucking wild. Yeah, so I don't.
Hey, you could just use your tasers. See the people stacking shelves and say, "Hey, you should lift with your legs."
Just be an insanely fucking condescending asshole.
Oh, is this your real personality?
Oh wow, this guy actually seems like a pretty decent person, and very stark contrast to like his online personality. But it seems like this is like your shtick. This is your online personality, is to just be an insanely fucking condescending asshole.
Oh, is this your real personality? Like, are you literally retarded all the time? Bro. Do you ever go to the store and see the people stacking shelves and say, "Hey, you should lift with your legs"?
What does that even have to do with what this fucking context is about? Richard, like,
do you go up to cops who are making an arrest? Hey, you could just use your tasers. You don't need the gun.
Yeah, fuck cops, bro. Like, they can use the tasers.
Oh, okay, all right.
I do not like cops. As somebody who's done yeah, I'm literally an anti-Semite. That is so wild.
Trying to actually get the hostages back. They're not trying to communicate with Hamas and negotiate. Oh, did you know they're trying to starve all Gaza? Right. None of that is anti-Semitic.
Here it is right here. I had to go back. I was right around the area, but I was going back and forth. Here we go.
The bullshit about the food trucks not being adequate, causing starvation. That's Hamas propaganda. And all the fucking bullshit you've said about their military operations. They should have done this. They should have done the Call of Duty thing. Again, you don't know you have no fucking military expertise whatsoever. You're acting as though you know more than Israelis generals. So go fuck yourself.
Do you have a military?
Oh, I sure as hell know a lot more than you. Guess what? Not only have I played Call of Duty, I've also played Battlefield. So I think I kind of know a little bit about military operations. Thank you.
We're gonna use that whole clip for a live stream real soon. That whole debate. Let me just say this, and I hope a lot of the military vets that despise you like I do come on that live stream and roast you. Battlefield, Call of Duty is nothing like being in a real combat zone. Those games are already set up in a way that depict certain issues within that game. Okay, it's nothing like being in a truly unknown area, not knowing what to expect. Truly, it's not the same. That game, you go through a storyline, a already set up story. You already know the mission. You got objectives you have to get through. In the combat zone, the only objective is to survive, asshole. If they say we gotta get an HBT target, here's the protocol of what we're gonna do when we go in. That protocol is subject to change. Unlike a game, there is no reset once you get shot, motherfucker. If you're lucky to live, you're lucky to live. There's no reset if you hit an IED and you blow the fuck up. If you live, you live. You're going to be mammed the fuck up, hemmed up. But no, it's not the same. Just because you play a video game doesn't mean you have real world experience. You called that guy a pussy because his parents kept him away from those games. And so that's the problem with those games. It's because assholes like you that play them think that you're a hard ass. But be the first one to cry in a combat zone. You'll be the first one to nut up like a bitch and cry the moment a motor round goes off, an IED goes off, a bullet go flying past your fucking head. You'll be the first one to cry. You'll be the first one to cry at basic training. Well, I don't know now. Basically, it's soft now. But back when I went in, back in the middle of the 05 and shit, when it was still real military, oh, they talk bad about your ass. We had guys going AWOL in basic. Then one of the guys that went AWOL, right, when I got in the garrison means my duty station, I happened to see the goddamn same guy at my duty station, right? Because he got caught, but he made it through basic. When we got orders to deploy, guess what he did? He went AWOL again. But he was talking all that hot shit at basic before basic started in reception. And then when the drill sergeant came in on their ass, right? And reality hit, he went AWOL. He couldn't handle the pressure. Then they called him, they reprimanded him. He stayed in, he completed basic, got to the duty station. And when we got our orders to deploy, the week before we deployed, he went AWOL again. Then they called him that time, they kicked him out the army. And the last time I seen him, he was on Facebook talking about how hardcore of a soldier he fucking was, but went AWOL. So, you talk a big game, but have you served the military for Canada? Did you go in? Or were you too much of a bitch to serve for your country? No wonder Jasmine is transitioning to a man. Because she needs a man so bad. Now she's doing AI. She's so embarrassed about how she looks. She's using AI to live stream. Because her husband ain't there for her like he needs to be. You call yourself a man, you the biggest bitch I know. But hey, I'm always willing, and this is only to you, to debate you. And we can talk about this topic. An actual combat vet. Since you got combat experience from playing a video game, let me ask you this. It's for you guys, and you're getting ready to raid a room. And there's an HVT at a particular location. That's high value target that you're trying to apprehend. You got the doorman, the rear man, and the two that's going in between the door and the rear man. The moment the doorman kicks in the door, the first man behind him is subjected to get shot if there's enemy fire on the other side. However, if he doesn't get shot upon, depending on the room layout, which corner do the number one goes into? Oh yeah, think about crossfire. Don't Google search that shit. Just know up top of your motherfucking head. That's just many things about how to extract people. What particular weapon you're going to use. You got Geneva Code Convention. You got to match force with equal force, right? That's how that works in the combat zone. You can't just bully motherfuckers and have mass casualties. That's exactly why Israel's in trouble right now, depending on the weaponry they're using. That's why Netanyahu is being deemed a civilian killer. Because he's doing these strikes on popular areas, right? Even though he's trying to target the enemy, he's inadvertently causing mass casualties. That's not how we fought in Iraq and shit. When we got into firefights, we tried to neutralize the threat with the least amount of civilian casualties as possible. Because there's reprimands for that shit. But you wouldn't know that because, you know, you never served. There are reprimands. In the game, you can get away with that shit. In real life, you're reprimanded for mass casualty. Whoever the commander is of your unit that gives an order to use certain weapons, and it's a lot of civilians around, like, shoot, I shot up tanks in Humvees. If I was on a tank and I shot a 120mm tank round, whether it be a Sabo round, a canister round, or impact round. Impact rounds, they explode when they make impact. Sabo round, go through and suck you out the other side of shit. That's to extract some shit. But mass casualty with a Sabo round. Canister round sound like that shotgun round. When you shoot, you big dispersion of tungsten balls fly out. All that can cause mass casualties. If we're trying to shoot a target way away, we use a 50 cal or the 249 Bravo or the 240 Charlie. They both shoot 7.62 rounds. They go with .762s. They go pretty fucking goddamn far. But 7.62, 6. Yeah, you know what the fuck I mean. But a lot of times we kept an M4 or M16 with a 9mm. That was SOP. Right? That was standard operating procedure. And those were your issue weapons. That was your TA or your TA-50, the tactical attire. That's what you had on all the time. Depending on what you was, either you was a gunner. I was a 19 kilo when I went in. Armor crewman, but we really use tanks in Iraq. We use Humvees and other shit. That's why I might need a reclass when I was getting the fuck out. But you use your lowest caliber weapon to neutralize a threat. Unless that threat had an RPG or something shooting back at your motherfucking ass. You didn't hit him with a 50 cal or a Bravo or a Charlie or a 2 or 3 grenade launcher. You didn't hit him with that shit. You hit him with an M4 or M16 or a 9. That's what you did. That's what you did. Every time I start recording, I get phone calls. So that's what you, and like I said, I'll get phone calls when I record. That's what you had to do. Because a lot of times we try to take in the threat alive so we can get valuable information. Holy shit. Wife, that got me right back. Goddamn. But yeah, because you want to take in the target alive, you can get valuable information. A lot of time that target, if you get him, will snitch. Because they want the Americans to keep him alive, to lock him up, so you want to face going back and actually getting killed. But you wouldn't know that because you never served. You just play video games and you think you got expertise. A general doesn't even come up with the overall scheme of a battle plan. You got, they call Joint Chiefs of Staffs. They sit up there and give information down to their intel. So the generals give shit down to the command sergeant majors. The command sergeant majors, the generals talk to the OC or the CO branch, the commissioned officer branch. So you got generals, then they talk to lieutenant, the generals, and then the lieutenant, because you got brigade general, major general, lieutenant, and general, right? So 3-star talks, 4-star talk to the 3-star, then it trickles down. Then it goes to the colonel, lieutenant colonel, and the major. Then it gets to the CO level. Then the CO talks to his lieutenant. Then the lieutenant gives the first sergeant, the CO and the first sergeant on hand, and sometimes, usually lieutenant colonels and colonels are command sergeant majors, right-hand guys, right? So everybody is talking about something. They have a particular SOP that when it gets down to your unit level and your company level, it's up to your captain and your first sergeant and that whole squad to do their job. That unit's commander, right? Because you have a unit. I was part of a regiment. So the regimental officer, which in my case was lieutenant colonel, and the regimental sergeant major, they're going to have the order that came down from the brass. However, they're going to have a particular job for that particular company and that particular unit. So my guys may be in charge of this, but this other unit's in charge of that. But all that's subject to change based on the environment and the feedback on intel. It's not as cut and dry as it is playing a fucking video game. Because casualties are going to happen. Some soldiers are going to die. Unexpected weather might happen, right? Unexpected betrayals and intel might happen. All of that dictates extraction from civilian lives and casualties. You have to be able to adapt when that shit happens. Video game boy. But anyway, don't you worry, vegan games. I'm not even gonna touch the mother King G shit. And you talking about wild boars. Vegans can eat wild boars, meat with the dumb shit you said. I just had to comment on this. I mean, I know somewhere in your mind you think you're a hard ass, but I have seen many people like you. Many people like you. See, everybody's brave behind the camera. Everybody's brave when they ain't face to face with someone. But you one of them guys that talk all that shit, and the moment you get your motherfucking ass in that combat zone or in a serious situation, you cry. Just like you did on that Destiny live stream. But one guy that was fucking mocking you, you got mad and started crying. We all ain't forgot about that. You are a pussy. All that shit about what you did at school and shit, you a pussy. You sweet. Everybody knows you sweet. You sweet. You sound sweet. You sweet. You sweet. You are eye candy to men that likes other men because you sweet. And I know you sweet because you talk about, if Jasmine was a tranny, I let her do certain things and I fantasize sleeping with a tranny. You sweet. And I know some gay soldiers that I served with that got more testicular fortitude than you that was in the combat zone. They are more manly than you. That says something. I know some women that served that are more manly than you. They fine as fuck, but they did more manly than you. They rough, tough ass women. Some of the best shooters I've ever seen in my life. And here you were talking about you got military credentials because you played a fucking video game. Get the fuck out of here. You just as bad Jason Blyhouse was stolen valor, motherfucker. You couldn't even tell what these ribbons mean. And no, they don't mean this. But they have a ribbon for this war. But you couldn't tell what these two blue ribbons means. But you got military intelligence. Get the fuck out of here, man. Anyway, hope you all enjoy. No live stream this week. It's going to be next week. I got some other content I'm going to be filming and talking about fitness related and some other funny stuff. But Vegan Games, you have now officially made on my, how can I put it? You have made it on my stupid radar now. Like, I knew you got some problems, but now you're just stupid. And yes, this is going to be a roasted thing on the live stream because I'm going to go over the whole thing on the live stream. And I hope some military people, we're going to roast the fuck out you, man. Video game. You don't even know what dress white dress is. You can't even give the command for a march. Double time. You couldn't. What does 5-4 effect mean and 5-4 adjust mean? When you doing gunnery. Oh, you trying to hit a target. When you get orders to take down a target, I'm leaving alone with this. When you get orders to take down a target, let's say you were the gunner on your tank or Humvee or whatever, right? And we have what they call tank commanders, right? That drove the tanks and they actually rode the Humvees. I drove Humvees, drove tanks, shop tanks. I did it all. Okay. I got certain pictures. I got pictures in my closet of that shit. Okay. When the commander tells you, and I don't mean officer, I mean the commanders who TC in the vehicle, right? When the commander tells you targets in sight, he's at the 1130 position. I'm gonna give you a horror. He's at the 2100 position. Okay. Right? It could be two things, but we're gonna use 2100 our position. Just to see if you know any goddamn thing. He's at your 2100. No, I ain't gonna do that. He's at your 9 o'clock position because we don't use that high up. I just wanted to fuck with you. 9 o'clock in the morning, 2100 at night is 9 at night. But anyway, back to what I'm saying. He's at your 9 o'clock position. He's about 900 meters away. You're on the tape. Well, so you need to shoot some high power shit to get him because he's sniping at your ass, right? And he tells you, you the gunner now. You got him in your sights. You got to beat on him. Now you got to count for wind and everything else. Your breathing, all that is going to matter when you try to shoot this motherfucker. You shoot out 4 or 5 rounds, and then the bullet hits. That's why we have them staggered with bullet, tracing bullet, so we can see what they're hitting there. If we can't see the dirt, we see what they're hitting there. And your tank commander say, you fire for adjust, you miss the target by about 3 clicks, adjust to 3 clicks, and then fire for effects. Now, when he says fire for effect, what do you think that means? Do it mean you want to fire to make sure your weapon is effectively fired? Or are you firing to effectively take down a target? That's just one of many things you have to deal with in the military. Under pressure. And you call yourself a fucking war expert. The fuck out of here. Hope y'all have a good one, man. I'm everyone. Peace.